build-up for the regular season. Now we have important football.
There's a pattern to football season, Hutton. There's a structure, and we're back into that structure now.
One big thing on every NFL game, we have primary complaint. Giants have not won a divisional game since 2023.
Hutton, I'm very confident in saying the Chiefs are starting 0-2. Down 1 week, and now we're back. They're winning this game. They're going to win this game.
They win, but they didn't look great. We are already to week 2. It feels like we were just the build-up for the regular season. Now we have important football.
There's a pattern to football season, Hutton. There's a structure, of Monday, Thursday, some Friday night, college action, Saturday, Sunday. And we're back into that structure now. And I love that. I'm getting more into a routine as we get ready for week 2.
And week 2 kicks off tonight. It's time for one big thing on every NFL game. Chad, early notes. We've got 6 divisional matchups this week. 4 games featuring matchups of 1-0 teams. League-wide note, there were 239 accepted penalties in week 1. That's the most at the start of a year since 2019. There were only 30 turnovers, the fewest in week 1 in more than a decade. Tonight, Washington, Green Bay. Jayden Daniels, fresh off week 1 win over the Giants, a Packers defense that dominated Detroit. Daniels' dual threat abilities, it travels well. This will mark his 12th start on the road. He has 20 touchdowns, at least 2 touchdown passes in each of his previous 11 road starts. The Packers have not lost a Thursday night home game since 2017. Washington, meanwhile, they led the NFL with 19 plays of 10 or more yards in week 1. More on this game coming up with prize picks. Sunday's slate. Buffalo on the road against the New York Jets. How about this matchup of offense? Buffalo led the league in offensive fantasy points in week 1, 148.8. You had some?
Shout out Josh Allen, my fantasy quarterback. Got me the win.
The Jets offense, 7th. Gave 100 points total. It's on average. It's crazy that the Jets offense did that. The Bills allowed a league high 9.2 yards on first downs in week 1. That's what Baltimore did. What can the Jets do? The Jets averaged 8 yards per play on first down. That was second in the league. Buffalo's 8.5-point favorite here. They're 4-0 in MetLife since 2020. Chicago faces Detroit. So the Bears on the road, both teams 0-1. Caleb Williams' debut, it was rocky. He faces a Lions defense that got after Green Bay for 3 sacks. And Detroit's secondary, they're revamped. They're going to try to target that short passing game. Williams only averaging 6.8 yards per attempt. The Bears 0-5 in their last 5 road openers. This is a steep test at Ford Field. Cleveland travels to Baltimore. The Ravens have rushed for 150 or more yards 9 consecutive games. That's going back to last season, of course. Derrick Henry rushed for nearly 7.7, nearly 8 yards per carry in his 2 games against the Browns last season. He scored three times in those 2 games. Lamar Jackson, so much for him on the dink and dunk. He targeted wide receivers nearly 80% of his throws against Buffalo. But don't count out Cleveland, Chad. Massive spread here, like 2 touchdowns. The Browns have split the season series with Baltimore 4 straight years.
How is Derrick Henry seemingly getting better with age? He's 31 years old,
I know, dude.
And he's never been better.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
It is.
The shape this guy is in, an absolute cyborg. That is Derrick Henry.
He's different.
Absolute cyborg.
He's just made different, man. Jacksonville, they get the win in week 1. They're on the road now against Cincinnati. The Bengals held on for their win. Trevor Lawrence, 70-yard touchdown pass to Brian Thomas in week 1. That's the big play potential that the Jags have. The Bengals possess that too. We just didn't see much of it against the Browns defense. Travis Etienne, 2nd in the NFL in scrimmage yards. 156 yards is what he compiled for in week 1. The Bengals 5.5-point favorites. Jacksonville did play well on the road, though, last year. The Titans are opening their home slate against the Rams. The Rams have now allowed single-digit points in 5 of their past 7 games. And surprising, at least to me, Cam Ward did not have a rushing attempt last week in his first game as a starter in his rookie season. Rams, they had a 41% pressure rate. And when pressured last week, Cam Ward, 5 of 12 for 52 yards. Rams 5.5-point favorites. They're 4-1 against the spread over their last 5 road games. Just mark that down because the Titans offense can barely muster I mean, they scored, 12 last week.
Not pretty.
No, it's not good. Patriots and Dolphins. This is in Miami. Miami's a 2.5-point favorite, last I checked. They're 5-1 at home against New England since 2018. Cowboys and Giants in Dallas. Both teams 0-1. Russell Wilson's Giants, the debut lackluster. Now they face a Cowboys defense that's desperate for that rebound that was gashed by Philly's run game. Philly's going to do that to you, though. Dallas's new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, is leaning on CeeDee Lamb. 8 catches in week 1. Had those drops, though, and they gave up a scoring drive to Washington on 50% of their possessions. Giants have not won a divisional game since 2023. So they're trying to avoid the 0-2 start. Pittsburgh and Seattle. Seahawks on the road here. Sam Darnold did not do much to help his offense last week, coming up short on that game-winning drive against San Francisco. It was Nick Bosa that forced a fumble. Seattle starts 0-1. From Nick Bosa to on the road against a Steelers defense led by T.J. Watt, who already has 2 sacks this season. Aaron Rodgers looks rejuvenated. Chad mentioned this earlier week. He does. Looks different in Pittsburgh. 4 touchdowns against the Jets. And he watched film this week where San Francisco dominated time of possession against the Seahawks defense. The Seahawks defense went through a stretch where over 4 possessions, they defended 51 plays. Pittsburgh, 1.5-point favorite. Seahawks defense better than you think. Will it travel? Steelers have won their last 4 home openers. They look to start a season 2-0 for the 3rd time in 5 years. Taking Pitt?
I'm going Pittsburgh, but man, did Pittsburgh get shredded on the ground by the Jets. T.J. Watt, nice stat with the 2 sacks, but that defense let down in week 1. Could be a bounce back.
It's the Saints and 49ers, San Francisco on the road here. Back-to-back games to begin the season on the road. Brock Purdy, he's going to be without his favorite target. George Kittle on IR, at least for the time being. That's big, especially against the Saints, where he has scored 7 touchdowns in his last 5 games against New Orleans. But a positive. Back up, Jake Tonjits. He caught the game-winning touchdown in week 1. Didn't have a catch until last week. But he's more of a receiver anyway for that offense.
And news also coming down, Brock Purdy likely out for multiple weeks.
Is that out now?
Yeah, a long shot to play in week 2, and reports saying that he is going to be out multiple weeks. Not great for the old 49ers. Down Kittle now and their starting
Brock
quarterback.
Purdy. Saints offensive line faces a 49ers pass rush that recorded 3 sacks a week ago. San Francisco, 7-point favorite. I'm curious to know what that moves to. Check that whenever the Purdy news officially locks
3.5.
3.5 now. Arizona and Carolina. The Cardinals hosting, they're already 1-0. Bryce Young, 200 yards and a touchdown effort in Jacksonville, and it wasn't enough. They are looking for that first win here. Carolina enters as 6.5-point underdogs. Their offensive line allowing 4 sacks in week 1. I'm backing the offensive trio in Arizona. James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. They should get after the Panthers defense that was not strong in week 1, especially whenever they were attacking the linebacker position. Not good. Indianapolis, a big surprise in week 1.
Looked great.
Hosting Denver. Surprise in the opposite way. They win, but they didn't look great.
Daniel Indiana Jones.
Man, Daniel Jones.
Give him a fedora.
Colts normally start 0-1. They normally start 0-1. And the Broncos should be an 0-1 team. 2-0 starts are what they're looking for. Denver was 2-0 for the last time was 2001, or 2021, 2021. And the Colts, the last time they started 2-0, 2009. That's crazy. 2009.
Peyton Manning was, 3 years away? 2 years away from being gone from Indy at that point?
Yeah,
I think
right.
2012 was his first year with Denver. Wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Daniel Jones was the second leading scorer among all quarterbacks in fantasy football. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Colts 2.5-point home underdogs.
That was deserving of the pause afterward. You just laid it out there.
Daniel Jones.
I had to really chew on it for a while to realize what you were saying.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. Late afternoon, Kansas City, Philadelphia. I mentioned the schedule makers earlier this week. Here we go again. Super Bowl rematch. And it's Saquon Barkley facing a Chiefs defense that allowed 27 points to the Chargers in Brazil. Mentioned earlier, Philly's offense scored 50% of the time against Dallas. That sets a high bar for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes was sacked 36 times last season. The Eagles sacked him they had 4 sacks last week. They sacked him a total of 5 times. Make that 7 times. I'm going to count the Super Bowl. 7 times last season against Mahomes. They faced him twice. Kansas City looks to avoid their first 0-2 start in over a decade.
Hutton, I'm very confident in saying the Chiefs are starting 0-2 this season. I don't know that I've been more confident about a pick than the Eagles. If we're doing the NFL wrong team favored, which we don't, I don't know how. Oh, sorry, the Eagles are favored by 1.5. They're winning this game. They're going to win this game.
The Chiefs, they have won 77% of their games at Arrowhead since Mahomes took over. So it's not easy to win. The over/under is at 47. To me, that's the highest scoring total, by the way, in the NFL this week. To me, that's not Vegas telling this is a close game. I think they're saying that they think this is a be on the lookout for like a 31-16 final.
To that, Travis Kelce says, Burrow had my ass. To that stat of Mahomes at Arrowhead.
That's right.
Amazing.
We got Atlanta and Minnesota. The Vikings are 8-1 at home record since 2024. 3.5-point favorites. Minnesota, 8 straight games they have won in Atlanta in the month of September. They like early matchups there. Week 1 saw both teams hit the under. Minnesota's top 5 defense, they should get after Atlanta's run game here.
That does not sing to our heart when you have to say that both teams managed to hit the under in the first game. Yeah, not
both
good.
Teams hit the under. We got Monday, Houston and Tampa Bay. Houston's new offensive line pieces, they got a gel against the Bucs front that had 3 sacks in the season opener. Nico Collins for Houston, his least productive fantasy day as a healthy starter since 2022. If you drafted him early, you know what I'm talking about. Tampa Bay's 3-1 road record. That supports their 2-point road favorite status here. And then we've got the Chargers and Las Vegas. Ashton Genty, an 80-yard debut for Las Vegas. The Chargers' run defense allowed 4.5 yards per carry. Genty, maybe you could add him to a prize pick of sorts. You do that.
Hutton, is that one big thing on every NFL game? Hell of a job. It's back, baby. It's back.
Make your picks in less than
a little
60 seconds.
Allergic reaction can't hold us down forever. We were down 1 week, and now we're back, and that was outstanding. Beautiful graphics on the bottom of the screen there from Tyler. That was wonderful all the way around. I'm excited about week 2 of the NFL season.
Make your picks in less than 60 seconds all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best place to win while watching sports. You can sign up today. Download the OutKick Hot Mic. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code HOTMIC, HOTMIC, and you can get $50 after you play your first $5 lineup there. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Check out our picks this week. Chad, here's my slate today. My 3 picks. Deebo Samuel, this is tonight. Give me Deebo Samuel. I've got more than 4.5 rushing yards. I'm taking Josh Jacobs more than 10.5 receiving yards. And Josh Jacobs more. Give me 80 yards rushing for Josh Jacobs.
More. You're going to sense a theme here because I'm going to go more as well. Okay. 2 of my 3 picks happening tonight. I'm going Jayden Daniels more than 224.5 passing yards. Jordan Love more than 229.5 passing yards. This is where I project what I want to see in this game. I want to see a shootout. I want to see these 2 great young quarterbacks doing battle and slinging it all over the field. So this is a pick with my heart and my head saying that's what we're going to see on Thursday Night Football at Lambeau. Yep. And then Josh Allen, who bailed me out and won my fantasy game in week 1, more than a touchdown and a half in the air. He's going to have 2+. Those are my picks for this week.
Chad has more wins than I do in fantasy football right now.
More
of Mr.
All
Allen.
because of Josh Allen and that fourth quarter.
Download the Hot Mic app. You've got the code Hot Mic with Prize Picks right now. HOTMIC, Chad. HOTMIC. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks app, code Hot Mic. That's simple.
Always fun.
We talk some college ball. Matt Sims joins us next.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on PrizePicks. Download PrizePicks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
6th and Peabody, our location, Yeehaw Bureau, Smoky Moonshine, Hot Mic, cutting it with bro, here at OutKick.com. I can't wait for your top 10 games tomorrow.
Yep.
I have a feeling what'll be number one.
I have them already. We'll unveil them tomorrow.
I have a feeling I know what number one is.
Yep, number one's going to be the first game I ask our next guest about.
Matt Sims joins us. Time to talk some ball with the QB. Matt, good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, let's get into it. What is this top game that we're going to break down?
I think it's one you know well, and a program certainly you know well. Tennessee hosting Georgia this week. So everything Josh Heupel's been able to accomplish, which is a lot in his short time at Tennessee. The one thing he has not done is perform well against Georgia. Now, no one's performing well against Georgia with the talent they have, so he's not unlike a lot of other people. But 17 points is the most he scored in a game against Kirby Smart. So I ask you, Matt, is this his best opportunity to have success against this Georgia Bulldogs program coming up on Saturday?
You're damn right it is. You're damn right. I'm excited about this matchup. I really do think you're exactly right. That stat is also a little scary now that you mentioned it that way, and makes me second guess what I'm about to say. But yes, I do believe that this is one of the best opportunities that Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols have in defeating Georgia. I really like the addition of Joey Aguilar into the offense. I think he fits the offense extremely well. His presence, his ability to be a physical presence moving in and out of the pocket. I expect him to be a little bit more of a force attached to that ground game with Bishop and Starr, who have really filled in very beautifully so far in replacement of Dylan Sampson, who was just absolutely electric at the position a year ago. Brazel's been playing phenomenal on the outside too. So I think more reps for Aguilar, the better this offense is going to get. Tim Banks, one of the most underrated defensive coordinators in all of college football. He's got another great defensive line that has just different levels to it that they can sub guys in and add that advantage of depth throughout the football game. And Arian Carter is a phenomenal football player, and it's going to be a really important piece too to slowing down Gunnar Stockton, some of that RPO game that Georgia seems to be leaning into early this season.
Matt, in your experience, like how much do coaches, especially in conference play, hold back things early in the season? Like in preseason NFL, we don't see very much. It's very vanilla.
Right.
How much do we really know about these two teams each year? If your third game's a conference game and you're facing ETSU last week, what do you gain? What do you gain from in film study, and what do you anticipate that will be different?
Yeah, and unfortunately for East Tennessee State, right? I'm sure a lot of the practice was still focused on some of the things that they were eventually going to be running against Georgia, and some of the thoughts, right? They might not have been going overboard with it, but they're just kind of those hints of like, hey, we're thinking we like this formation and these few plays against Georgia next week. We're going to rep them here. Probably won't run them in the game, but we're going to start to build that consistency and execution on the practice field. The whole singing of the play thing, for me, I was a third-string quarterback in the NFL, so I hated the preseason because I knew I was going to get these rinky-dink football 101 plays. But it was also exciting too, to make the best out of those simple concepts. But in college football, you really don't have the pleasure of, let's see if we can hold out and use this later. No, you gotta empty the bucket. You gotta empty the bucket immediately. And I think in this situation for Josh Heupel, hey, let's go. Cut it loose, have fun, and put some pressure on Kirby Smart and Gunnar Stockton, because I think the advantage is actually on the Tennessee defensive side this time around.
All right, so Boo Carter wants to be Travis Hunter, right? I unleash him in this game. I don't know. I don't keep him on the roster unless I'm using him in that way for this matchup. How would you implement him?
That's a good question. Honestly, there's so many different ways to do it, but I think ultimately what it comes down to, right, for Heupel is just making sure that you can't get too risky here early in the first quarter. Take your time. I don't want to see any, hey, it's 4th and 1 at midfield, let's go for it. No, punt the ball, play field position, play the long game, hang around, make it a grudge match, and then win it in the fourth quarter. I think sometimes in these rivalry games, some coaches get a little too excited. They try to just get like out there early, right, to score and to push points. Be patient. Be patient this one. Let the game come to you, especially for Joey Aguilar. There's going to be a different environment for him going up against a Kirby Smart defense. Play smart, take the gimmies, protect yourself, run the football, control the tempo, and then take those calculated shots that Heupel does a great job of doing.
And you know this also, Matt. You also have a phenomenal home field advantage on your side if you do punt the ball away and give it back to your defense with a quarterback that has not faced anything like this yet. Right in Gunnar Stockton at Georgia. So, getting the crowd into it and letting them go nuts on defense could be part of the game plan as well. I do want to ask you about the great quarterback trade of this past offseason. Nico Iamaleava for Joey Aguilar. And there's a lot being written about that. I know Joey's dad is saying, hey, we want to thank Nico for making that decision because now we're here and you can see who got the better of the trade on all sides when you look at the production and look at the crowd for Tennessee and everything else. What do you think about what it did for Tennessee's offense, if anything, when you talk about what Nico brought to the table versus what Joey Aguilar can do in Josh Heupel's offense?
What I think I love first and foremost with Joey Aguilar is just the fact of his presence on the field is a little bit different than Nico's. I love the fact, too, that he seems to play with a better rhythm overall in his upper body. And what do I mean by that? When you're watching passers, right, in the pocket getting ready to throw, you want to see a little bit of a rhythm, right, to them. You want to see that kind of like natural, there's the decision, and then that flow to the throw is graceful. It's beautiful. It's something where you're like, man, this just looks easy. At times a year ago, I thought there was so many reps where Nico seemed to be reacting just like a tick late and then trying to have to speed up with throwing it as hard as he could to make up for that difference. So far, I think Joey Aguilar has been seeing the field extremely clean. And because of that, he's been able to transition from decision to throw pretty smoothly. And I think that's also why his accuracy on the deep ball has been a little bit better than what we saw with Nico. And I also think, too, for Heupel, listen, let's face it, we're all competitive. We like to be a little petty, too, especially when we feel like we've been done wrong. And both sides can make cases for that, right? But Josh Heupel doesn't want to be wrong in this situation. Josh Heupel wants to make his decision look like it was the best choice for the program and for himself. And I think that gives an added advantage to Joey Aguilar with the roster that they already have and of course, a coach that wants to be proven right at the end of the year.
Florida Gators lost to South Florida. Now they're going on the road to LSU. And when you watch that program, Matt, what's missing? What is it about that's not connecting with Billy Napier and that team? We saw the discipline issues rear its ugly head late in that game against South Florida. What is it that's just not connecting with what is a powerhouse program with on-field results so far?
Yeah, and I'm looking down right here at my notes that I took during the game, right, because this was one of the games that I was very interested in to see, right? South Florida and Florida, and really just South Florida being one of those teams that seems to always hang around and play tough against their opponents. Alabama last year, and of course how they started this season this year, has been extremely impressive considering that their passing game is somewhat underdeveloped. But to go to Florida, it's really frustrating because they got all the pieces. They got an awesome offensive line. They protected DJ Lagway extremely well. The skill group is phenomenal. You got depth at the receiver position, and honestly, one of the most underrated skill groups I feel like in all of college football. I think Todd McShay made a great point the other day when I was listening to some of his stuff on his podcast. He does a great job just evaluating players and going through the games. But yeah, his point was Jayden Ball. Run the ball. Like, what happened? You run the ball 6 times in that first drive, and you're absolutely just punishing South Florida's defensive front. And then I feel like they got a little cute, tried to make the game a little bit more about DJ Lagway, and they have failed to really create any sort of passing rhythm for a DJ. There's not enough throws where DJ can just throw it out there quickly and feel confident about seeing someone catch it and run. There's way too many lapses between good pass plays and then, 4 or 5 incompletions and then another completion. With the skill group that they have, Billy Napier has to do a better job of just building out more easy completions earlier in the football game. You got a great offensive line. I mean, we need some more screens, more receiver screens, more wide receivers, running back screens, more ways to get DJ Lagway out of the pocket, get him moving, get him athletically involved in the football game. And I just feel like Florida really is making it more difficult than they need to. And unfortunately for them, their schedule is not going to help them at all this year. It's one of the toughest schedules in all of football. So we'll see. I'm rooting for Billy Napier. I hate to say that as a Tennessee Vol, but they got a lot of really good pieces to that football team. I like what I've seen so far as the roster. On paper, it's good. Now it's all about just can the offense be a little bit cleaner? Billy, let's go, man. You're an offensive guy. Run the football. Make it easier for your quarterback.
As a Vol myself, I'm rooting for Billy Napier, but it's because I want to see him continue to be the Florida coach for as long as possible.
That also might be why I support too. Yeah.
I fear the alternatives of who they could hire possibly if not for Billy Napier.
No doubt.
Texas A&M and Mike Elko, big spot going to South Bend. Hutton and I think both had them as a playoff team.
I had them in playoff.
Coming into the season. They haven't been that impressive in the early going. What do you think about their chances to go on the road and pull off a big upset?
Well, what's been strange, really, for both of these teams going into this matchup is that they haven't done well on the offensive line. Notre Dame and Texas A&M both kind of struggling here early just to kind of establish that basic run that they did a year ago. And that was what we were all hopeful. We were hopeful that the O-line would perform up to the standards it did a year ago. And Marcel Reed to take advantage of that RPO game and then also get a little bit more involved as just being a pure passer. I think Marcel Reed is still developing as being able to see the field a little bit better. At times when I watched his film, it just seems like he's trying to make the big play and force the big play a little too much. And it's such a hard lesson for young QBs to learn. Is like, hey, be patient. The game will come to you. The amount of times my father said that to me and the amount of times I told him, hey, man, you don't know what you're talking about, was absolutely ridiculous. And meanwhile, he's Super Bowl MVP. But it's very difficult. I think that's really where Marcel is in his development. He is damn close to really figuring out how to play the position and manage the position well. And he just needs to slow down, slow his feet down, get in the ground, drive through the football, and make clean decisions. This matchup, though, is a really good one. I think overall, I lean a little bit towards Notre Dame. Now, Chris Ash played a very vanilla style a week ago against Miami. I want to see a little bit more of what we saw a year ago, right? I want to see us Notre Dame be a little bit more aggressive and blitzing and getting after it and mixing up the looks, and something that I think they did a little bit towards the end part of the game, the end part of the game.
I know what you're saying.
That made sense to me.
I totally understood it completely.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm not exactly the most intellectual here, but overall, I think Notre Dame has the right pieces. Lean into the running game. Hopefully, their offensive line could play better than it did a week ago against Miami's defensive front. And I think Notre Dame will have a little bit of a slight edge in this football game, being at home.
All right, maybe tell me if I'm being unfair here, but I think Alabama. To me, Alabama reminds me of a West Coast football team now. They're much more finesse than what I remember Alabama ever being, right? Especially in that week one matchup where Florida State's dominating them at the line of scrimmage. Vanderbilt did that to them a year ago. I think of Wisconsin in the trenches.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Wisconsin. Is Wisconsin?
You're not missing much.
Right. But I'm thinking just on the line.
Yeah.
If Vanderbilt and Florida State are doing that to Bama, can Wisconsin do that to Bama?
Yes, they can. They absolutely can. And I think what's really interesting about this matchup is that overall, Alabama, I think, has a little bit of an identity crisis on both sides of the football, right? It's because they're still living in the shadow, of course, of Nick Saban and what's going on there. Kalen DeBoer, of course, the whole quarterback thing to me last week I thought was really strange and kind of almost like a beginning of hey, I have this ace up my sleeve type of thing, right? Where it's not us, it's maybe our quarterback. And meanwhile, there goes Ty just going 17-17, I believe, for 200 and something yards and just balling out, right? Overall, Alabama's offensive line not running the ball efficiently, right? They did a week ago. Okay, hey, against the opponent, we expect that. I don't know if that's going to be the case again against Wisconsin. That's really what needs to happen, right? They need to be a little bit more patient and more physical in the ground game like they had in the past. And you're right. I mean, the truth is that DeBoer and Grubb, that is what got them to the national championship, is being a finesse style team with a guy like Michael Penix and mixing in the run here and there.
I'm not saying they can't win that. It's just not Bama football.
It's not what we know to be as Bama football, and we know how long it takes for a culture to shift, right, into this new identity, and that's where I just hope that he has a little bit more time, right, to develop that culture that way. The pace and the tempo in which they played was much better. You could see that there was clearly we need to hustle more, we need to finish more, we need to be more aggressive. There was definitely a few more plays too where I feel like they set up their quarterbacks for like easy, explosive plays and completions. And that has to be something that continues to grow as the year goes on. I think Ryan Grubb is a really good football coach. I think he can really help quarterbacks out tremendously. The truth is, against Florida State, they just got ran over on multiple fronts. At least they got back on their horse this last week, looked efficient. But yeah, Wisconsin's going to be a tough task for them overall as a team. And it really just starts with the quarterback and the offensive line. Can they protect their QB and help him out by being a little bit more efficient in the ground game? I mean, you see, like, football's really, it's repetitive. It's a simple game, right? Control the line of scrimmage. Help your quarterback out. Control the tempo of the game. Sprinkle in a few plays here and there to get explosives, and then let your defense do their job, right? And I think that's where, all of us, we try to sound so fancy with our breakdowns. And it's like we could literally do the exact same thing for damn near every matchup that we see, whether it's on Saturday or Sunday.
And if we couldn't do that, we'd get paid $50 million to fail like these coaches are.
Yeah, it's also a good gig.
Not a bad gig.
Let's go, guys. Let's start our own coaching staff here.
Let's do it.
All right. And let's mix it up and see what happens, and we'll have that Alabama fan winning the lottery trying to buy us out, which would be great.
Hiring the right agent is step number one to make sure we can get that buyout if we fail,
right.
And then we're good to go.
The sad thing is a Bama fan would, in fact, win the lottery and spend it all on a buyout. You know?
Hey, Matt, quickly, tell us about what you're doing now with young quarterbacks. Just looking at your social media, it's pretty cool giving opportunities to some young guys with your expertise.
Well, I appreciate that. And so essentially I'm like a seasonal coach, right? In the winter through summer, I'm essentially a private group quarterback trainer. It's called Sims Complete. And it started as a thing that I was doing just for some of the local QBs that I grew up in the area with. And, just being a guy who grew up in this area, I know all the coaches and know a lot of the parents. Hey, can you help us out here and there? That's great. And then from there, it really just snowballed and grew and grew and grew. And now I've been very fortunate to coach, well over 200 quarterbacks to help them with their careers through all age groups. And it's extremely satisfying, fulfilling to see the growth and just being a part of mentoring a young football player and seeing it through their eyes again, and reminding them that it is a game, right? And reframing it, because in today's day and age, parents are intense. The demands of the sport and social media make it much more intense for a lot of these young athletes. And I give them a ton of credit, because I definitely would not have been able to handle a lot of the pressures that modern football bring to the game myself. And, I just do my best to try to share my wisdom and experience with those football players as best as I can.
You ever show them tape of a quarterback under center?
You know what? So that's interesting that you bring that up, because I really focus a ton on dropping back from under center. And a lot of my QBs look at me and they're like, well, I don't do this in my offense. I'm like, I don't give a damn what you do in your offense. We're going to do this because we need to learn how to move and be athletic and to develop the proper way through the game. And then when you guys do your little 7-on-7 shotgun style, all that stuff, it'll be very easy for you to transfer those skills to that. So it's very fun. And I love incorporating the NFL things that I've learned with the high school guys and what they're doing, and really push them beyond what they kind of think is capable of the position.
Man, the percentage quarterbacks under center in the NFL week 1 was like 35% of the time.
Yeah.
And Matthew Stafford was under center like 60-something%, like vastly more than the average.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on 4th and 1 in the shotgun.
It's like the mid-range. It's like the mid-range jump shot. Total lost art in the sport.
Yeah, man. Hey, great stuff, Matt. We appreciate it. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
I appreciate it, boys. Thank you so much for having me. Go Tennessee. Kick the crap out of them dogs, man. Let's go. Do something that I never could because I was too busy throwing it to Georgia. So, hey, make sure you overcome it, all right?
You're not the only Tennessee quarterback who hasn't beat Georgia recently. So the list is long and distinguished.
Look for Chad on the goalpost if, in fact, that happens.
That's right.
Later, Matt. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, boys.
Matt Sims. Great stuff from him.
He's really
got to get him back on soon. Yeah. Matt Sims Complete on social. Chad, coming up, we are our top grievance of the week. I have a prop that I'm unveiling.
You have a prop? Oh,
For
okay. I thought you meant like a prop bet you were going to have
for a
your
primary complaint.
You're like Carrot Top. Is what I'm hearing.
Minus the roids and the fake tan.
Hutton's going to turn into Carrot Top when we come back. Gallagher, we've got a watermelon here and a sledgehammer.
Pissed off for greatness. That's next here on Hot Mic. Hot Mic Honey Withrow reminding you to sign up for OutKick's ultimate game day experience. You have until the day tomorrow. Tomorrow is the final day. Your last chance is Friday. Tomorrow. Yes, it's almost Friday. September 27th, Alabama visits Georgia. You could be between the hedges. And it's on OutKick. It's game tickets. It is travel expenses. It's all taken care of. You and a friend. You and your guest of choice. You have the power here to take them to the SEC experience, the ultimate game day experience through OutKick. Sign up through the QR code on the screen or go to outkick.com/sweepstakes. Again, have until tomorrow. You can sign up as many times as you want to here. Check it out.
We just had a little bit of a philosophical debate during the break with Dylan Taylor and Adam and others in here.
Yes.
That does it make you a bad person if you want your team's opponent to get hurt before a game or in the game? And my response was absolutely not. That's called gamesmanship. It's called competition. I don't want someone to be like tragically injured for the year, but if someone's a little hobbled,
unless you're going to face them in the playoff.
Yeah, like if you know in football someone's got a rib injury, you want to check on those. You want to tap those ribs a few times early in the game, as I say.
Rattle the cage.
Let's check on that ankle. Right? It's not targeting. It's not trying to, maim them. But if a guy's got an ankle injury, I want to check on that ankle early. There's nothing wrong with that. That's football.
Speaking of checks, I have in my hand, I'm predicting, I haven't opened this yet, a check from a nonprofit.
Hutton goes Carrot
to
Top.
me. It's happened many times. That's where I'm going to start with primary complaint.
It's time to air our top grievance of the week.
You can complain all you want.
My job is so unfulfilling. Don't run away from your feelings.
It's time for Hot Mic's primary complaint.
We try not to repeat complaints, Chad and I, over the 14 years we've done this. It's tough to do, but I'm about to do it in order to show you what I mean when I'm pissed off for greatness about getting money back that I've donated. I donate to the VFW. I have before. And since then, I get about 3 of these per year. Now, you can see the nickels. They mail me money after I've donated to the nonprofit. On the back, it says, "Wounded veterans are in crisis. Your help is needed now for returning heroes." Well, let's open it together, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm guaranteeing you there's a check in here.
Get the thing up close to the mic. I want to hear it.
Okay.
I want to hear the sound of this.
So
for our podcast listeners, you need to hear that he's actually physically opening up the envelope.
It is real. There are nickels here. All right. Why? I'm sure it explains this in there. But this is addressed to me. It says, "Please find a real $1.50 check." Where is this? Right here. A check made out to me for $1.50. And then I have 20 cents in nickels here. It says, "You're going to find a real $1.50 check and 4 nickels. You may be wondering why I would send you money." I do. You see, the check is real, but I hope you don't cash it, is what it says. Then don't send me money. I've sent you money to give to veterans. Don't send me money back.
And then say don't cash it.
Yeah, it did say don't cash it. Again,
it's
real
the
check
thought that counts.
Yeah. This is like bar money for us. Bartender.
$1.70. Little
tip.
Little tip to your barista.
I hate the fact that I've donated money and then it goes to other people, telling them not to cash the check, when you damn well know people are doing that, and they're not veterans. That's my primary complaint.
If it's the thought that counts, you could just respond and say, "I'm not going to give you any money for your charity, but I will be thinking about you." So it is the thought that counts, since I can't cash this check. Turnabout is fair play. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit of grammar police here with my primary complaint this week. We have a real epidemic in this country of people not understanding that dominate and dominant are 2 different words. In college football season, NFL season, this always creeps back. This team was dominate in this game, is how it's spelled. Thinking that to dominate an opponent and to be dominant as a team are the same things. It's not. Dominant, D-O-M-I-N-A-N-T. Dominate, D-O-M-I-N-A-T-E. Two different words. You can dominate someone, and you can be dominant in a game. That's my primary complaint.
I know Chad well enough to know he was a spelling bee champion at one time.
5th grade spelling bee champion for Wilson County. Yep, certainly
you can see
was.
why.
Yep.
Our discussion before primary complaint had Chad sounding like he was straight out of a late aughts Saints locker room. With Bounty Gate tapping the ribs.
I definitely went 80s
Greg Williams.
80s sports movie villain there. I was Sensei in Karate Kid. Like you sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get somebody out for the season, but I want them out against
Bow
me.
to your sensei.
Yeah,
That's what I think when you say that.
Like if you can provoke someone to spit on
Napoleon
you
Dynamite.
and get them thrown out of the game, then you're good.
Bow to your sensei.
Yes.
My primary complaint, how come I can't get a team-by-team lineup ahead of a football game? I'd like to see the 11 starters on the screen for each team, offense and defense, instead of the quick breeze through as soon as the game starts. Why can other sports do that, but football can't? Baseball, before game, you see all 9 starters in the pitcher. Soccer, you get the full lineups and a lineup breakdown. This last week of the YouTube TV presentation, everybody else doing anything that didn't need to be around football in the actual game, I finally caught it. It hit me. What am I missing from the pregame is actual lineups and somebody that can break it down for just 3 to 5 minutes. I don't need a 30-minute breakdown, but just a little bit of the lineup, I think, just gets us back to normalcy when it comes to the pregame circus that we've been seeing lately.
Yeah, well, I like that, man.
Completely agree. This is an instance where, like, the older thing is the better thing, but we always try to outthink ourselves on different things. I think back to the old NBC, the AFC on NBC graphics in the late 80s and early 90s, they would always have the vertical of here's the Jets offense.
Yeah.
Right? And then it might have a picture of Boomer Esiason, right, as the quarterback, and that's the one picture, but you see the up and down of the entire 11 players starting. Here's the other team's defense with their star player in the box with the picture. Let's get back to that. I
The
agree.
thing that bugs me is just being behind the scenes with it, like with NFL radio, we would always, it would be the first play from scrimmage, you get the offense in, whoever's on the field first. Then the defense is the second play. Like, analyst is not going to say anything for the first 2 snaps of the game.
Right.
It bugs me whenever, to Sean's point, it bugs me whenever they're finally getting to the starting defense late in the first quarter. Like they've been on the field for 2 series. It's like, oh, let's meet the starters for tonight's Eagles defense. It's like, we're nearly the second quarter now.
Also, coming up at halftime,
Yeah.
here are the starters, and we're almost to the 2-minute warning.
Now that we're in this rain delay, let's tell you the starters for tonight's game. Yeah.
I know who's out there, but I don't really know who's out there. And in football, guys get injured every week, and there's somebody slotting in every week. Why can't I know who is slotting in before the game? I think it would make so many things much more clear, and it would make people better fans of knowing the team. If you watch that game, your local broadcast every single week, then you eventually learn the team like a baseball fan would. You don't have 162 games, but you got 18, and you get to see the ebbs and flows. It's a crucial mistake, every company that doesn't have lineups.
Are you cool with the Monday Night Football version where they like introduce themselves and say their high school or their college or whatever? Do you need like the vertical?
I
That's
wish,
fine, but
I wish
moves
more
too
would
fast.
say their college. Like that's my only complaint on that.
Yeah.
I like that where you can hear their voice and see them, but I hate when they're like making up a joke about like Hard Knocks U or what, they're just saying something like, just tell me where you went to school.
Yeah.
Say your school when you do it. Let's all do that. Let's make an agreement to do that.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or like you said, like middle school, elementary school, they'll say those.
Right.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess they do that in the preseason.
We're all in agreement on this. I would also say that, since we're on the show, the lineup, schedules are to be vertical, not horizontal. I just want to remind everyone of that. Everything online, anything you look at, a schedule goes up and down and not box to box to box to box, side to side.
And the score, winning score, losing score. It's not just holing away and you put the score backwards. There are teams here that do that in the stadium. It's so stupid.
I know this is a primary complaint, and we're being very negative. I will say a positive. I love the CBS new score bug for the NFL game.
It's strong. It's really strong.
Sunday,
but also
clean.
What is
very clean? That score bug at the bottom of the screen.
Hey, while we're on this, what is it about networks? They feel like they always have to change it every season. If it works, keep it.
I don't think some will keep it pretty consistent.
There's always trying to, and especially in the Super Bowl year, they'll unveil it during the Super Bowl and then use it the following season.
Yeah.
If it works, just keep what is aesthetically pleasing.
It should be an event when they change it.
Well, we also have the death of the ticker on most national broadcasts, which irks me. If it's a prime time, you don't want a ticker going during Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Thursday night, I understand. But if it's a 1 p.m., 4 p.m. slate, ticker should be along the bottom.
Give us a score
all day. All day.
Yep. Everyone needs to have, it's like having Scott Hansen with you
Yeah.
on your ticker, minus the annoying factor of him wanting to be on screen all the time. Good guy, but whatever.
Yeah, I do like to see, like, oh, man, now it's 21-0, at the bottom when you're just watching your one game and then you're seeing everything else happening.
You get pissed off at your other bet that you're
now everybody
losing.
just assumes, like, you're two screening it.
I'm so
no matter what.
in,
So, like, you're getting your scores other places.
Yeah, I'm so embedded in the fantasy football app that I know all the scores all the time.
Well, but while we're at it, though, don't assume. Like, if you're broadcasting the NFL, like, act like it is 1978 and someone is sitting in front of a television watching it, and they need you to inform them with the ticker or with scores on the top. Like, do not assume that everyone is just sitting there with 3 different screens going.
The problem is they want us to download their app so they can have
even though most people are. Just don't assume.
Guys, well done. Good complaints today.
Excellent. Fun show.
Yeah, good show today. Back at it tomorrow to get to the weekend. Chad's top 10 games of the college football weekend.
Strong week. It's a strong week. It's a strong 10-pack.
We'll finish up the strong week. Join us Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here. Hot Mic on the Withrow at OutKick.